good surprises, remember International Diamond Center. Locally owned, internationally connected. Now with 9 Florida locations, from Gainesville to the Treasure Coast and along the I-4 corridor. Let IDC help you celebrate what matters most in the new year. 4 Orlando locations and online at shopidc.com.
Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. No one is funnier than you. People laugh just thinking about the things you've said. I'm laughing at one of them right now. Coworkers repeat your jokes at the office, but they're never as good as when you tell them, and shame on them for trying. There. Don't you feel better? You'll also feel better knowing you could save when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Although I'm sure you'd have a funnier way to say that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. How can I make the most of waiting for my next big vacation?
Translate your questions into goals by investing with Merrill Edge Self-Directed. It's more accessible than you think, with helpful planning tools plus free online stock and ETF trades, so you can keep practicing your pronunciation. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Other fees may apply. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Apparently, some of you can't listen to our entire shows. There's a solution. You can listen to our shows whenever you want. Just search your favorite show and then on demand.
FM 96.9 The Game. The home of the Knights. WYGM Orlando. WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, Orlando.
Time to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Oh, time for open mic.
That is absolutely correct. We are loud, live, and local in Orlando every morning, 6 to 9 a.m., actually 6 to 9:30 a.m. when you count the bridge. You can listen to us in so many ways. FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, HD 101.1-2. Download the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to us globally. You can listen on your smart speaker. If you want to watch us and listen to us, you can do that as well on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search for the Open Mic live stream, and you will see our 3 beautiful faces right up there right now. Welcome to Open Mic. I'm Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel. In studio with Adam Reardon, the deceptive intellect, and of course, Austin Pastolka, the Sultan of Sound.
Yeah, that is correct, Mike. I'm here and I'm feeling givey. I feel like I'm going to give some things away. We got tickets to the Rolex 24 coming up later in the show.
Nice.
We also have tickets to Magic versus Kings happening tomorrow night. So we got tickets galore, brother.
When are we going to give those away?
We're definitely going to give away some during the regular sound-off segment, but you know what? I'm thinking we might give a little something to our early bird listeners. So be listening this hour for a chance at tickets.
All right, we want to hear from you throughout the course of the show. You can call us the old-fashioned way, 407-916-8255. You can tweet us at 96.9 The Game, or you can text us on our Academy Sports and Outdoors text line. That's 50857. First chance at $1,000. 7:10 a.m. this morning. We do it twice a day. Make an appointment. 7:10 a.m., 8:10 a.m. That's the dash for cash. You can win $1,000 right here on Open Mic. So be listening at those 2 times at least. All right? At least. We like to begin every show, as always, with an Open Mic early morning inspirational quote of the day. This one comes from the great Dalai Lama, who once said, and I quote, "Just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day." Anybody want to go deeper with that?
Well, I think what he means is just one small positive thought. It's sort of think of it as the seed that you're going to plant. And if you plant the positive seed early in the day, it grows into a great day.
A beanstalk.
That's
a
right.
positive beanstalk.
Magic. Right? Magical. Golden goose up there.
It's a golden goose of positivity, brother.
That's right.
Get yourself a positivity egg from the golden goose of positivity.
And if you don't get that golden goose of positivity, guess what? The Giants going to get you.
Smashing you with a bad day.
The negative Giants going to get you. That's what's going to happen.
Giant of negativity. Hey, it's the power of positive thinking. You have a positive thought, and good things will happen.
Listen to the Adam Reardon is suddenly Norman Vincent Peale. The power of positive thinking here.
It's all about the pop, the power of positivity. Pop, pop.
Well, the Magic had some positivity last night. Give me a little magic music, maestro. Oh, yeah. Ho, 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 ho. Yeah, yeah. Oh, watch out, beware. Gonna get ya. The Orlando Magic. When did they turn into the Splash Brothers, by the way? The Orlando Magic make a season-high 19 three-pointers last night as they beat the Charlotte Hornets 117 to 108. Here's what it sounded like.
3 again for Anthony. Good again. He's feeling it, the youngster. Cole Anthony now a 20-point game. Vucevic with the left-handed hook. Soft touch. Vooch rattles it in.
Great way to beat pressure. Just get the ball in the middle of the floor to a playmaker.
Got to finish it out, however, tonight. Fournier tries to add another. He drills it deep. Corner 3. Evan Fournier.
Yeah, certainly. Unbelievable what you're doing, Vooch. Keep up the great work, and congrats on the win tonight.
Thank you. Well, last night wasn't so bad for you because, your guy went to the Super Bowl.
We're going back to the Super Bowl, baby. How about Tom Brady and the Bucs?
Yeah, he did have 3 interceptions, but no, I'm kidding. No, but I mean, it's amazing to see that, at that age, still, be able to win and get to the Super Bowl. Just change the team all around with his approach and everything. It's just amazing to see, and you have to respect, that kind of work and that kind of dedication. It's amazing to see, and it's very rare in any sport, to play at that age, especially a sport like football, and he's been able to do it. So it's amazing to see. That's why I'm such a big fan of him, and somebody I think most athletes look up to.
Tom Brady, even inspiring the Orlando Magic. How about that? Nikola Vucevic scores 28 points last night. This guy's having a great season. Cole Anthony had a career-high 21, did the rookie point guard. And again, 19 three-pointers last night. They shot 51.4% from three-point range. All right, here's the stat of the day. All right, the Magic... last 3 games, hitting 47.3% of their shots from three-point range. Prior to that, they were the worst three-point shooting team in the league, 31.8% from the floor. What is it? Just Evan Fournier being back? What is it? Because these guys are shooting lights out right now. And I don't think it's going to hold up. They're going to be shooting 47.3% from three-point range. But let me just say this, and I've said this before. If the Magic can just continue to get some of their pieces back, like they got Evan Fournier back, coincidentally 3 games ago when they started shooting better. If they can just get some of their pieces back, again, they're not winning any championships, but they can be 7, 8, maybe a 6 seed, is all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, yeah, when it comes...
Well, if that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will.
well, what do you want me to say? You want me to say that they're going to win a championship?
Huh? I mean, it's way better than that. I mean, I agree 100% with you with the more pieces they get back, the more they're able to spread out, because while they were completely depleted, defenses could be like, all right, double up Vooch, maybe double up Cole Anthony. Everyone else, good luck. But now they've got a few extra pieces. Defenses get spread out a little bit more. They get more open shots. It's simple basketball IQ right here.
Yeah, and again, when you look at the teams ahead of them, I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of. The Cavaliers are 8-9. The Knicks are 8-10. The Hawks, who are better this year, by the way, 8-8. And then you get to the top of the league. You got the 76ers, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Nets, of course. And I guess you could say the Pacers. Are the Pacers significantly better than the Magic if the Magic are somewhat healthy? I don't know. So... yeah, they could get up to a 6 seed. Could they get to 5? Anyway,
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. We still have a long way to go in the season. All right, I'm going to get to a topic later in the show. Speaking of the NBA, the Miami Heat. You guys laughed at me when I said the Magic's roster, when healthy, is just as good as the Miami Heat's roster. The Miami Heat last year, I'm telling you guys. They were a one-hit wonder. They were a one-hit wonder last year. Yes, they made it to the finals in the Disney bubble, but they have come crashing down to earth this year. They're 13th in the Eastern Conference right now. They're 6-10. They're playing horrible. Everybody had career years last year, including Jimmy Buckets. The Miami Heat. Again, when the Magic roster is at full speed, the Miami Heat are no better than the Orlando Magic. What do you think about that?
You're talking about the ceiling of the Magic versus the ceiling of the Heat? Or the way the Heat's playing today? You're saying the best the Magic could do is better than what the Heat are doing today? The answer is correct.
No, I'm talking about the Magic when they have their full allotment of talent, and I'm including their torn ACL guys, Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, everybody else. All right. Let me just say, I'll say this: if the Magic had that roster in the bubble last year, they might have done what the Heat did. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I actually looked up the Heat's schedule here because I'm looking, and you're right that their numbers are not good. And then I look at, of their 10 losses, they had to play the Nets twice, right? The Nets are a good team. They had to play the 76ers twice in a row. Those are 2 losses there for them. That's a pretty damn good team. They got a loss against the Celtics, loss against the Mavericks, a loss against the Bucs, and then...
that's a tough stretch.
And they lost to the Magic to start the season. Yeah, no, I mean, like their losses are to... the team's like way up top in the standings. So maybe if this is a strength of schedule issue.
I'm looking at the Magic's losses. 76ers. Let me get
Charlotte last night.
The Celtics,
2 nights ago.
Celtics. They've lost to the Nets. They've lost to the Knicks. But the Pacers.
Yeah.
Again,
it's early, and they're like one game behind where Orlando sits right now.
Yeah, I just think the Heat last year was a fluke. I'll say it. I thought they were a fluke last year. I thought it then, and I still think it. And we'll see what happens as the season progresses. All right, straight ahead, we have a spontaneous text question involving the passing of the great Larry King. We'll talk about that next on Open Mic. Okay, so, you can watch our show as well as listen to it, right? You can watch us on Twitter. You can watch us on Twitch. You can watch us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, look for the Open Mic live stream. All right, so Adam Reardon, every morning, he tags us on Facebook, all right? And I don't usually get the notification until like hours later unless I actually go to my notification bell that Austin told me about. By the way, I have like messages in my Facebook account that go back like years that I've never even seen before. All right, so this is a new thing to me. Yes, this is a new thing to me. All right, so I go to my notifications and Adam Reardon has tagged us. So what? So we can put this on. We can put our show on Facebook with this tag. Is that what this is?
Well, yeah, it's a link to the YouTube.
Okay, so what do I do? I just share this?
Yes.
Is that what I do?
Yep.
Just share?
Share.
That's it?
Share it with all of your friends.
Now, there's a bunch of shares. It says share now, public, share to news feed, send the messenger.
Share now.
Share now, and then in parentheses it says public.
Yep. Hit share
So
now.
share that one?
That's for everybody who follows you.
Yep.
For all 5,000 friends that Mike Bianchi has on Facebook.
And like 4,800 of them, I have no idea who they are.
Same.
I'm literally only on Facebook to make sure my grandma doesn't say too many like political things. Other than that, I don't check Facebook.
Yeah,
I only get that's the only place I get my political news from is Facebook.
So my girlfriend was telling me about some new social media platform that she's been on. What was it, Austin? I told you about it. Yeah.
Clubhouse. Adam actually was the guy who turned me on to it. Adam's a big Clubhouse guy.
Clubhouse guy. That's where it's just an audio website, right?
Yeah.
And what people get in there and just talk about different topics.
Yeah, different topics, specific. Oh, Jesus.
You're doing great.
That's terrible.
Succotash.
Yeah, just any topic. It can be about sports. A lot of it's about podcasting and entrepreneurship and stuff like that. So you have like people like Grant Cardone who's on it and stuff like that. So it really is kind of a cool place to go if you are sort of dialed into a specific genre or kind of information you're looking for, and you just listen, or you can raise your hand to talk.
It sounds like something that people are going to monetize. Is that true?
Mike, for a guy who every single Would You Rather poll has figured out a way to monetize things.
Yeah.
Of course, yes, you know that anything in this world that can be monetized, which is everything in this world, will, in fact, at some point be monetized.
Can we monetize Clubhouse? Can I monetize that?
Well, we can't get on it. It's not like that. No, I guess technically it is kind of like that, but I wouldn't know how to.
We all have iPhones, so if we all
and that's the other part too. It's a beta. It's beta testing right now, so only iPhones can get it. So. For all of your Android friends, they'd be left.
We could start a room and say we're recording the open mic. This is open mic live. Like it'd be kind of tough to do.
I don't know how I would do it. I don't know how.
So you can't get it. You can only get it on your iPhone. Like I can't get it on my laptop.
Correct.
Yeah, it's an app.
I hate that. Like Instagram. I hate the fact that I can't get on Instagram with my laptop.
Can you not? I thought you can get on your Instagram. You can get on Instagram with your laptop.
You can?
You can get on it. You can't post or comment
Pictures
or anything like that. You can just look.
Well, I'm talking about posting because I'm a major poster. I'm an influencer on the Instagram machine.
We were all waiting with bated breath last night to see what you had for dinner, Mike, on Instagram.
You wanted to see my canned chicken with chicken broth?
Oh, you do canned chicken?
That just sounds disgusting.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I pour the canned chicken into a big mug bowl type thing, and then I pour the bone broth on top of it. Got myself some chicken soup.
There you go.
Oh,
right there.
Gosh. Chicken soup is not hard.
Did a little cilantro lime salmon last night for dinner with green beans.
That sounds good.
Nice.
It was fantastic.
Grilled chicken and couscous.
As I'm still hovering around the 181 and 182 mark.
See, now you're at the point where you got to start getting a pump, brother. You guys start hitting the gym.
I know.
Going big on the chicken breasts and
somebody asked me the other day, like, how much weight are you going to lose? I said, well, I don't want to lose any more because I think as I'm pulling into parking spots at like Publix and stuff, other people are just a little too free to whip in there real fast. Like, that little guy's not going to do anything. It's like when I was 225, nobody would do that to me. Now I'm 180 and they're like, deal with it, buddy.
Come on now. Yeah.
By the way, this intermediate fasting, that's not working for me as far as like
intermittent fasting. That's all right.
Yeah, it's not working for me as far as dropping poundage.
Well, it's not so the thing with intermittent fasting, the reason why it works is because for people who struggle with eating too many calories, it's a good way for someone to mentally say, okay, I am just going to eat from this time to this time, therefore getting rid of some calories. At the end of the day, if you track how many calories you're supposed to have, eat in a deficit, you're going to lose weight. So
I used to eat my breakfast at noon, and then I'd eat my lunch at noon 30.
Mike, let me turn you on to the Carbon Diet app. You'll like it. It's got science involved. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That diet's so much fun. You know, after about 2 months, they called it the carbon monoxide diet. You're like, dude, I don't want any more of this. I can't stand this.
All right, our spontaneous text question of the day.
Spontaneous text question of the day.
Okay, I have to admit, I didn't even know this until yesterday. Larry King, when did Larry King die?
He passed away over the
2 days ago.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Sunday. It was Sunday, I think.
Okay, so Larry King, the longtime talk show host on CNN, Larry King Live. If you, everybody remembers that. You guys remember that show, right?
Oh yeah, I definitely remember Larry King.
Larry King Live. He passes away at the age of 87. I mean, the guy was unbelievable. His interview show, Larry King Live. I mean, I was reading He interviewed every sitting president from like Gerald Ford up through Barack Obama. I mean, he had every movie star on his show. He was big time back in the day. And again, he's one of the reasons CNN became what it became. So anyway, Larry King passes away, famous talk show host. Here's the spontaneous text question, unless you guys can come up with a better one. Like your favorite I don't know the word I'm looking for. Interview, your favorite talk show, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about like an interview type show. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe just your favorite interviews that you've seen over time that you liked or laughed at. You know, the most memorable interview moment, kind of thing. Maybe just to make it a little more concise.
Well, all right, give me one then.
Well, I mean, my one immediately jumps to mind from the Larry King Live is I don't know if you've heard of these guys, but Rhett and Link, they're huge YouTubers, okay? But they've also been friends since they were in like 3rd grade in North Carolina. And so they go on the show and he's like, okay, so you've been friends for a long time. And they go, yeah, we've been friends for a long time. We went to college together. You know, we knew that we make people laugh, blah, blah. And then his follow-up question was, are you guys gay? And they go, not yet.
All right. Favorite interview, favorite interviewer, whatever you want. Text them in the 50857. You know who my favorite interviewer of all time was? I used to love this guy when I was, way back when. Remember Roy Firestone?
Yeah. Oh,
I
man.
used to love him on ESPN. That guy was a great interviewer. So, anyway, things like that. Text those into 50857. Straight ahead. So I talked to the UCF president late last week about Danny White's departure, and he told me that UCF's athletic department will get even stronger. Do you agree or disagree? We will debate that next on Open Mic.
Your fingers do the talking.
All right, so I talked to UCF's president, Alexander Cartwright. This was on Friday, maybe it was on Thursday afternoon. Thursday or Friday. So I wrote a column in Sunday's Orlando Sentinel. You can still read that, by the way, if you go to orlandosentinel.com.
Cheap plug.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I'm talking to Alexander Cartwright about Danny White's departure, and obviously that was a big blow to UCF's athletic department. I don't think anybody would deny that. Danny White was a very successful athletics director, or else he wouldn't have been getting, $2 million a year offers from Tennessee. So Danny White's gone, and I'm talking to Alexander Cartwright, and Alexander Cartwright says, listen, and I'm paraphrasing. He says, listen, we're on a trajectory. Actually, this is a direct quote. We're on a trajectory to be even better, even though Danny White is leaving. And he brought up Buffalo, all right? Now, and Dr. Cartwright is actually worked at the University of Buffalo for like 10 years as some big-time researcher. I think he was in electrical engineering. Then he leaves Buffalo and becomes like the chancellor of the entire state of New York university system. So he's very familiar with the University of Buffalo, which, of course, is where Danny White was before he came to UCF. And he said, listen, when we lost Danny White at Buffalo, we were like, yeah, this is a big loss. But then we went out and hired somebody really good, and we got better as an athletic department. So I went back and looked, all right? So, yeah, Danny White was at Buffalo for, 3 years or something, I think, all right? So Danny White was at Buffalo. And he leaves Buffalo, and sure enough, they got better. They got better. Buffalo's football program. All right, Danny White left Buffalo 6 years ago. All right, so Buffalo's football program over the last 4 years has won 30 games. They just finished an undefeated regular season, school first national ranking. They've been to 2 conference championships in the last 4 years. They've landed in 3 bowl games. Their coach, Lance Leopold, who, by the way, Danny White hired in 2014. He's the reigning MAC Coach of the Year. Buffalo's basketball team, they've won 4 MAC titles during the last 6 years, and they've been to the last 2 NCAA tournaments. All right, so that was more success than they had when Danny White was there. Now, does a lot of that success have to do with, hey, Danny White put the structure in place to have a successful athletic program? Yeah. But as Dr. Cartwright pointed out, before Danny White got there was an AD named Ward Manuel, all right, who was very highly thought of. In fact, he's now the AD at Michigan, all right? He's now the AD at Michigan. Then White was hired after Ward Manuel left, and White was successful. And then they hired a guy named Alan Green, who took it to another level, and he's the AD at Auburn now. So, and I'm not saying Danny White's not important to UCF's athletics program. He is, all right? But I think we're going a little overboard. Anybody who thinks UCF's athletic program, just because the AD is leaving, is going to dry up and blow away, I think is being insane. UCF is a really good group of 5 athletic program. I mean, I'll go to the Power 5. Adam Reardon, would you say Jeremy Foley was considered one of the great ADs maybe in recent college history?
Yes.
Okay, Jeremy Foley helped build, or he helped build Florida into an across-the-board athletic powerhouse. When you want to talk about all sports, the Gator athletic program is as good as it gets in this country when you're talking about the Olympic sports, when you're talking about football, basketball, all of that. All right. So Jeremy Foley leaves. All right. And Scott Strickland replaces Jeremy Foley. I would say Scott Strickland has been a resounding success at Florida so far. So again, ADs are important. I understand that, but there's a lot of good ones out there. You know who's really important? Having a really good football coach. If you have a great football coach, and yeah, Jeremy Foley helped build that Florida program. You know when the Florida athletic program really took off? When Spurrier came in 1990 and started filling that stadium and filling the coffers with booster money. That's when the Gator athletic program took off. So if UCF has a good football program, a really good football program, their athletic program will be fine. Which brings us to our thought-provoking daily poll question. Austin?
Sorry, I've been working on an Instagram thing. Here we go. Your thought-provoking daily poll. I got you covered right here. Do you agree with what UCF President Alexander Cartwright told Bianchi that the school's athletic program can get better even though Danny White is gone? Yes or no?
Adam?
Yes. I mean, it has the potential to. I mean, listen, Ford's. Yeah, I mean, when Henry Ford died, all right, when Henry Ford moved on, the cars have gotten better, okay? Cars have gotten better since his time, okay? You have the potential to. And you hit it right on the head. If you have the right football coach in place, and it may be the guy that the previous administration hired or the previous AD hired, as you sort of pointed out with the Buffalo situation there, that might be the right guy in place. And you got to start filling in, maybe some of the other holes around it. But UCF is in a good spot. They've got a quality football coach. They've got a high-quality basketball coach. It is probably of the non-Power 5 destination. I mean, Orlando's a great place to recruit to in football and in basketball. Basketball a little bit more difficult, because than football, because this is not a hotbed of talent the way the state of Florida is for football. It's a good job. It's a great the potential for this athletic program, and you've seen it here under Danny White. Yeah, listen, I don't think that UCF has reached its ceiling by any means, so it has the potential to be. Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And yes, Danny White is a loss. And the reason it's such a big loss now is because we're in the middle of a pandemic, all right? Obviously, there is a financial crisis, not only in this country, but throughout college football, throughout college athletics. There's a financial crisis. And Danny White had a great relationship with the boosters. He was a great fundraiser. All of that, so that makes it a double gut punch that they're losing him now. But again, UCF's athletic program isn't going anywhere. It's gonna continue to be a great athletic program. They'll hire a good AD. Believe me, there are a lot of great candidates out there that want the job. In fact, I've been getting calls from UCF athletic candidates. I've been getting calls. Hey, what do you think? I have a shot at this job? I got one call from a big-time number 2 at a big-time SEC institution, all right? I'm not going to reveal his name because that would be, outing a source. But this guy's big-time. They're going to have some big-time candidates for this job. All right, you can go to @969 The Game or @TheGameJacks.
Whoa. Just @969 The Game.
Oh, yeah, I made the mistake, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. It's okay.
You can go to @969 The Game. Vote on our thought-provoking daily poll and all of our other polls as well. Right around the corner, if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl in Tampa, wouldn't that be the perfect drop the mic moment for him to retire? That's next on Open Mic.
to LeBron. He's got it. Yes, sir. Taken by the Lakers. They've got a little bit of time, and LeBron knows it. Probably get the last shot with 2 on its way. That a way to end the quarter with the King drilling another 3. Down the middle he goes, and nobody's going to stop him with the 2-hand jam. LeBron James. Oh, look at this. LeBron with the steal all the way. LBJ. Throw it down. Timeout, Cleveland. Trying to get it in the fridge. LeBron, tough shot. Nothing too tough for the King tonight.
Nothing too tough.
Welcome back to Cleveland. LeBron James, he makes his first trip back home in about 2 years, and he gave him a show last night in his former hometown. Not his former hometown, it's still his hometown. LeBron James scores a season-high 46 last night as the Lakers beat the Cavs 115-108. The Lakers' road winning streak now 10 in a row. They are 10-0 to start the season on the road. By the way, here's LeBron after the game last night.
You got an opportunity to see your mom and get a home cooked meal. Saw my uncle. Just felt good to be back in my, in my haven, my rest haven. And that's being home. So, and also, obviously, you get inspired watching the greats play and, seeing Brady, see the things that he did with that team. That inspired me as well. But I just felt pretty good. I mean, as I have the whole season, I've been getting better and better as each game goes on, and felt good from the beginning and just trying to keep it going.
Tom Brady inspires LeBron James. Tom Brady inspired Vooch. We played a clip from Nikola Vucevic earlier this morning talking about Tom Brady. Tom Brady is bigger than big right now. He is bigger than big. Give us a call, 407-916-8255. Our spontaneous text question in honor of Larry King passing away over the weekend at the age of 86. Your favorite interviewer or your favorite interview of all time? Somebody just texted in the Jim Everett interview.
Classic.
That's when Jim Rome kept calling Jim Everett Chris, as in Chris Everett, the tennis player, and Jim Everett told him, you better stop that. And Jim Rome said, okay, Chris. And then Jim Everett comes over the desk and tackles Jim Rome. Did he knock him out of his chair backwards or something?
Yeah, because he jumped up and kind of tossed the table, and then Jim Rome kind of was trying to scramble, and he fell out of his chair, and Jim Everett was down. That was the first time I recognized that NFL quarterbacks on TV don't look like big guys, but next to normal guys, they're huge guys.
Next to little talk show hosts like Jim Rome.
Yeah. Well, and then I'll never forget the first time I was in the same room with Dan Marino, and just kind of being close to him. You go, that dude is huge. That guy is he was like a big guy, and I'm thinking, God, I mean, you think about the offensive linemen are big guys, the defensive linemen are big guys, and these quarterbacks are, just the quarterback. Man, these guys are big, strong athletes, and if all you got is what is it? The pen is mightier than the sword, right? So listen here, reporters. If you're going to challenge an NFL quarter, you better bring that pen with you and hope it's really sharp, okay? Because physically, that guy is going to manhandle you.
Yeah, I remember when the Apollos, for the brief time the Orlando Apollos were around, Garrett Gilbert, the Apollos quarterback, I was like, man, that's a big dude. He was a big guy. So, yeah, these NFL players are huge. Phil Donahue, somebody texted in as best interviewer. Back in the day, yeah, Phil Donahue
Great
was really
show.
good.
Yeah, that was like when I would pretend like I was sick to stay home from school. My mom used to watch Donahue, so I had to watch that. Howard Stern to me is the greatest interviewer I've ever listened to.
Somebody just texted in Howard Stern. I don't really listen to Howard Stern. What makes him so good?
His interviews, by the way, are like an hour and 45 minutes long. I mean, he gets to talk to people. And they obviously if somebody's there, like a Mark Wahlberg, and he's probably got a movie out or something like that, they'll talk about the movie. But before you know it, they start talking about like this time that he was a kid and he and his brother Donnie, like things that you wouldn't think anybody could possibly know. And like sometimes these people are taken aback by just how much information he gathers on the subject when
he does a lot of research.
He's tremendous. I mean, if you get past the idea like you're listening to Howard Stern and might say the word, might say that. If you just listen for his interviews and his skill at interviewing people and getting them to feel very comfortable, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. I think he's the best. I think Larry King in my lifetime was the second best. I put Howard in front of him, to be honest with you. Maybe it's
I was reading about Larry King. Speaking of Howard Stern, you said he knows all of this stuff. Larry King was famous. He didn't like to do preparation for his interviews. He just liked to do it off the cuff to see what his, he didn't really prepare for his interviews other than, he'd start the interview and they'd just start talking and he would just come up with questions off the top of his head. It sounds like Howard Stern prepared a lot for his interviews.
He does. By the way, my favorite Larry King interview ever is with Jerry Seinfeld. I've referenced this before. When Jerry Seinfeld was going off the air, he's like, "Now, are you walking away or did you get canceled?" And Jerry Seinfeld was so annoyed.
We're the number one show on TV.
He goes, "I don't know. Maybe you've heard of it, Larry. Don't you do any research?" He told him. He goes, "We're the number one show on TV. What do you mean canceled? There's a big difference between walking away from a show and being canceled." Seinfeld was so angry.
Yeah, maybe Larry should have done his show prep.
Yeah, on that day.
In the vein of Howard Stern, have you guys? We've talked about the show Hot Ones. Sean Evans is a phenomenal interviewer, and especially under the pretense of his show where you eat spicier and spicier wings with these super famous people. His interview with Shaquille O'Neal that he does is phenomenal.
I've never given it the proper effort because I feel so shticky, like with the idea of like you're eating hot wings and then you're asking questions. But maybe I should. I've heard nothing but good things.
You should.
Keep those coming in. 50857. We were just talking about the UCF AD job. All right, the Sentinel, Matt Murschel, compiled a list of candidates in the paper today. I call it the paper. You can get it online at orlandosentinel.com.
Oh, nice.
All right,
plug.
Here's some candidates. Austin, get your dinger ready. You can ding or buzz these.
Am I going to know who any of these people are?
He's not going to know who any of these people are.
Okay, we'll ding them for you. All right.
You.
All right. The top one is Mark Allnut. He's the Buffalo AD. All right.
Well, that would make sense. That would make sense, right?
I'm dinging him. The Buffalo Athletic Department is still good, with or without Danny White. Ren Baker, North Texas AD. He's known for his fundraising efforts, with North Texas hitting record-setting fundraising figures each of the past 4 years.
I mean, it sounds good.
Yeah, I'm digging him.
Yeah.
Scott Carr, who's the interim AD at UCF right now, one of Danny White's right-hand men. He's the guy in charge of brand advancement at UCF. He's also involved in revenue generation. I'm definitely buzzing him. I think that guy's sharp. What are you doing?
You just said buzz him.
You said buzz.
I'm dinging him. No, I'm digging this guy. He's sharp. In fact, he is he grew up like Danny White in the athletic business. I mean, his father, Bill Carr, was at Florida as the AD.
Bill Carr.
Yeah. Remember Bill Carr?
Yes.
Scott Carr is his son. I think this guy's sharp. Here's a name you might recognize, Adam Reardon. Mike Hill. All right. He's the Charlotte AD. He was under Jeremy Foley for a long time at Florida, and now he's the AD at Charlotte. You know what? I'm not gonna buzz any of these guys. They all sound pretty good to me.
Mike Hill once gave me a cease and desist call. Once, I'll tell you. Yeah. It was the funniest. It was the funniest thing.
What were you doing? Something with their logo or something?
No. We Chris and I were doing a Hump Day Athlete of the Week. We did it on Wednesday. We called it the Hump Day Athlete of the Week.
Absolutely.
And I was much younger, and this was a different time, in the world, So it tended to be, female athlete.
Ah, yes.
And so like like an Allison Stoke or something like that. I'm trying to think of the famous tennis players out there. And once it was Carrie Klinkenberg from the University of Florida volleyball team. Yeah, she had a great game or something. And by the time it got back to the UAA, it was explained to them that we were doing a hump of the week. And so like he called our owner, who was a Gator booster, and says, "Listen, we're pulling all the Gator, football and basketball from you." And then my boss, get in my office. And so I had to call Mary Wise and explain, like this is not what we were doing.
So they didn't even hear it. He just
somebody told him like that they're doing a hump of the week, and I was like, no, it's hump day, athlete of the week. Yes,
there's more to this.
I mean, I get yes, it is sophomoric. So that was like I think we did like 2 of them, and then that was the end of it right there.
By the way, I will, of all the AD candidates listed in the Orlando Sentinel article today, they all sound like good candidates, but I'm going to buzz this one. This is the one I'll buzz, all right? Brian White, the FAU AD. Yeah, he's Danny White's brother. I don't think we should go hiring the brother of the former AD, all right?
Keep it in the family.
Huh?
Just keep it in the family.
Yeah. No nepotism when it comes to hiring.
Well, let me ask you this question: if you feel like Danny White's done a great job, is there anybody that he would help more continue to advance what he was doing than his own brother? Ooh. If his brother was here at UCF and says, "Hey, listen, I got some tough decisions to make here, and I'm going to lean on you as a guy who's been here." Is there anybody that if you believe in Danny White and you feel like Danny White's a bit of a loss here and you would love to keep Danny White, the closest thing to keeping Danny White would bring his brother in, wouldn't it?
I would say Scott Carr, the deputy AD.
Okay. Second in command?
The second in command. He knows the ins and outs of the UCF program. He knows the boosters. He's been in the revenue generation business at UCF. I would go Scott Carr over Brian White.
Actually, so I guess the question we really have to ask on this program, Mike, is which of these guys gives you the best insight so that we can monetize it with your columns?
Yeah.
Good point.
Who you got the best relationship with right now?
Who do we get the inside scoop from? Who's who?
Yeah. And neither one of those.
Who is the bulldog? Who is the bulldog sunk his teeth into on this list?
All right, you can go vote on all of our polls. We got some AD polls up there at 96.9 The Game. A bunch of polls up this morning. All right, let's pause for station identification.
FM 96.9 The Game. WYGM Orlando. WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. The home of the UCF Knights.
What you reading there, honey?
It's very exciting stuff, you see. It's the front page of the internet.
Here we go with the front page of the internet this morning. We start off on YouTube's trending page where Godzilla vs. Kong, the official trailer, has dropped from Warner Brothers Pictures. See Godzilla take on Kong. 26 million views for this trailer. It hits theaters and streaming exclusively on HBO Max March 26th. Is there anything better than 2 giant monsters beating the crap out of each other?
No.
Yes.
No.
The Denzel Washington movie coming out on HBO Max. I'll watch that first.
I like actual people fighting more than I do monsters. Like one of the great movies of my lifetime, Every Which Way But Loose with Clint Eastwood. And he had the orangutan Clyde, Left Turn Clyde. Remember that?
I've never seen the movie.
I haven't
never
seen that
it?
one.
No, but I know of it.
It's about street fighters. It's awesome.
It's back when they used to fight, but they'd move their fists like in a circle when they were fighting.
Yeah, bare knuckles fighting. Yeah, that's what it was.
The Queensberry rules.
I love Clint Eastwood movies. They're so great. Trending over on 96.9 The Game, you can check out the final SEC shorts of the football season. SEC shorts grading each team, and you know for a damn fact there's a shoe joke in there for Florida.
Ah, yes. Yeah. By the way, did you write a blog about UCF?
I did. You know what? People are not going to be happy about this blog that I wrote at 969thegame.com, the open mic section.
Cheap plug.
What did you write?
I wrote that, get ready, UCF sports is heading downhill.
Now, why do you say that?
Well, I say that because
they lost Danny White?
When we look at athletes, when we look at athletic events, we know that everyone is trying to go for a peak moment. They're trying to peak at the right time. But the thing about a peak is that there's always a downhill after that. Sometimes it's drastic, sometimes it's not. But guess what? We saw the peak of UCF when we claimed the national title. They went undefeated 2 years in a row, and when the basketball team made their run in the NCAA tournament. But that was the peak. At some point, we're dropping off, and we're in that, and we're losing pieces. We're losing cornerstones of that base that brought us to that peak. So the downhill slide is there, in my opinion. But you can read more on that over at 969thegame.com, the open mic section.
There you have it.
Happy birthday today to the one, the only, Ellen DeGeneres.
She's got to be 54.
God, that feels about right. 52.
62.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Is she canceled? Is she on still? Or
She's
no?
still on.
Okay.
But she went through a rough time.
She's been canceled by some.
She has been canceled by some.
That's more what I meant.
Yeah.
Is she canceled?
She's been canceled because of apparently it was an ongoing joke in Hollywood that the worst job you could have was being a low-level production person for the Ellen DeGeneres show.
I hate people who treat employees like that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, also, happy birthday to Manti Te'o.
What do you think he and his girlfriend are doing for the evening?
They're having dinner alone.
Yeah.
Nice. And finally, trending on Reddit, a very interesting photo is making the rounds. It's from the 1940s, where kids during a polio outbreak were remote learning. I know what you're thinking. Zoom wasn't around back in the 1940s, but teachers would read lessons over the radio. And so there are these kids hovered around the radio with some of their books, working on homework. And I just think that is freaking crazy, man.
Right there with the old FDR fireside chats. You have nothing to fear but fear itself.
So wait, what do you say? In the 1940s, kids were homeschooled essentially, and people took vaccines?
Yeah.
Huh.
What a time.
That's just the government trying to turn our youngsters into communists with the microchip embedded underneath in their retinas.
Oh no.
Anyway, is that the front page?
That is the front page of the internet.
That's the front page of the internet. Real quick, Mark Daniels brought this up a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to steal the idea now because we're at the point now where Tom Brady is in the Super Bowl, and we all know how Tom Brady got to the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in his first year, won 3 consecutive road games in the playoffs, beat Drew Brees 2 weeks ago, beat Aaron Rodgers last weekend or this past weekend, and now he's got Patrick Mahomes. What did you call Patrick Mahomes yesterday? Tom Brady's the GOAT. What is Patrick Mahomes?
He's the GOAT, the greatest of these times.
Okay, the GOAT versus the GOAT. So if Tom Brady somehow, the old GOAT, can beat the young lion or the young GOAT, all right? If Tom Brady can beat Patrick Mahomes, as Mark Daniels pointed out, wouldn't that be the perfect drop the mic moment for Tom Brady to walk out the door, ride off into the sunset, it would be the sunset. Yeah, right off into the sunset of Clearwater Beach, right there on the Gulf Coast. Wouldn't it be the perfect time for him to do that? First, it would give him 7 championships. That's a record. That beats Michael Jordan's 6 championships in the NBA. I think Mark Daniels is on to something. Wouldn't it be the perfect time? Now, I'm not saying Tom Brady's going to do that. I don't think he will. But it would be the perfect time for him to do that, would it not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, really, what is the What's the old say? Ride off into the sunset. I mean, that's the end of the movie, right? That's the picture we have. The cowboy rides off into the sunset. There's no riding off into the sunset in the sports world is hoisting the trophy, saying I'm going to Disney World because it's right up the street now. But I don't know about the pandemic and all that stuff. Maybe I won't be going. Maybe a little bit later, and then then that's it. That's the goal is to ride off into the sunset. It doesn't make sense. Aaron Rodgers retiring today. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't make sense to me. But if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, I mean that guy. We talk about athletes all the time with nothing left to prove. Not that he ever had anything left to prove anyway, except for, hey, is it Belichick? Brady. Brady wins the Super Bowl. He's checked every single box when it comes to the greatest career of an athlete.
A team sports athlete of all time.
And you know what?
Greatest team sport athlete of all time.
Of the last 50 years, 40 years, right?
Since
Bill Russell. Bill Russell.
Since Bill Russell. Okay. Yeah, Bill. Yeah. Although
Bill Russell was a coach too. Coach player.
Well, Tom Brady's a coach as well.
Peyton Manning was the offensive coordinator / player. I mean,
But let me just say this, all right? Yes, Bill Russell, obviously, that was a different era and a different sport. It is much harder in the NFL to maintain a dynasty with all the parity, the salary cap. In the NBA, again, LeBron can go to LA, build his super team, and boom, you've got yourself an instant contender. It's much harder to maintain in the NFL, I think. I think being able to win as many championships as Brady has in the NFL, and the fact that the Patriots were so good for so long, and then he goes to Tampa Bay and wins another one, I think that would even surpass Bill Russell.
I have a weird thought, and tell me if I'm just going crazy here, okay? But what is the one thing we haven't seen Tom Brady do? It's be bad. I want to see Tom Brady go as long as he can, ride this train out until he is bad. I want to see what a bad Tom Brady looks like.
His body physically breaking down.
Yeah, I want to see how far he can take this train.
I guess that would be the last thing he has to prove is how long Tom Brady and the way he takes care of his body, the way he is like, people think he's kind of a weirdo with all the things he does. Just how weird it is when he's playing this game at a very high level at 48 years of age.
Right?
And plus the Bucs aren't going anywhere. I mean, the Bucs, when you look at their roster, they have a young roster.
Yeah.
They're in pretty good shape cap-wise. I mean, Brady could come back next year and they can win it again. I'm not saying that they're going to win it this year, but they could be right in contention again next year. Again, this roster, and we talk about who deserves the credit for the Bucs' success. Obviously, Brady deserves most of it, but Jason Light, and he's the guy who put together this roster. He's the guy who put together that defense and drafted all of those defensive players. So, again, the Bucs are set up for success, at least in the near future. All right, coming up next, we're going to get to a little sound off. We're going to hear from all the newsmakers in the world of sports. But first, your chance at $1,000.
take on the Chiefs. Coverage begins at 2. Super Bowl 55 on FM 96.9 The Game and Westwood One.
That is the Sound Off Music. Sound Off brought to you by the Twin Peaks Big Game Giveaway. Win a $200 Twin Peaks gift card just in time for the big game. You can load up on wings and other Twin Peaks classics and make your Sunday super. All you have to do to win is head to our website and sign up, 969thegame.com/contests. What do we have, Austin?
Sound off! Sound off! Normally, when you get to town at the Super Bowl, everybody's pulling and tugging. You try to get everything done the week before. And then when you hit town, you got all the media obligations and your practice and your game plans are all put in. I think it's a great advantage for them. It's just an away game. They get to do their normal prep just like we do. So nobody's going to get tied up in all that stuff.
Bruce Arians, head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, talking about how this year is definitely different for a number of reasons, from COVID protocols to the fact that Tampa Bay is, just hanging out in Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl this year. How big are these changes, and what do you think we'll see as a result of it?
I have to be honest. I don't even know what the changes are. I don't know how they're. I haven't even read. Maybe Adam Shadoff can shed some light on it. What are the changes? Do you know what they are?
Well, they aren't traveling this week. Like that normally, both teams would travel to the Super Bowl location this week, but Kansas City isn't doing that until next week.
I don't think that's correct. Normally teams get to the Super Bowl site like the Sunday before the Super Bowl. Now normally teams aren't in the Super Bowl city this week anyhow. So I don't know what Bruce Arians is talking about. If Kansas City's not coming in next week, then I could say, okay, then they're trying to avoid the distractions. But no, I don't know that not coming in this week is any different. I'm gonna do a little research on this. Go ahead, Adam.
Sound off. We look for that challenge of playing the Buccaneers. They're a good football team and unique situation that they're playing at home. I mean, that's never happened. But my hat goes off to Bruce Arians and his staff. Done a nice job. Their players have done a nice job. And again, we look forward to that opportunity to play them.
Andy Reid.
Okay, I found some information here. According to ESPN.com, the Chiefs won't be flying to Tampa until the day before the game. So that's a big difference, all right? They won't be flying to the game, flying in until Saturday of next week. Yeah, to not be in Tampa all of next week, that's a huge change. Huge change.
You're trying to avoid, I guess the loss of control. I guess of you don't want any Eugene Robinson situations, and I don't mean like what he did. I just mean you don't want guys going out and in this day and age of COVID. I'd imagine you want to bubble these guys up as long as you can.
Yeah. Keep them away from Mons Venus is what they're trying to do.
What's that? I've never heard of it, Mike. Don't know where that is located on Dale Mabry. Across the street from 2001. What?
Oh, wow.
Anyway, that last clip was Andy Reid being very, very complimentary to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he would go on to talk about how Tom Brady has been a huge leader for this team, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When it comes down to it, Andy Reid complimenting the other team, it's just coach speak, right? Or is he actually nervous about the team that he's going up against?
No, because I'm going to throw up now. All right, listen, if I hear one more person compliment Tom Brady and talk about how Tom Brady's an inspiration to them anymore. I mean, it started yesterday.
Motivating the defense, motivating the offense, motivating the front office, motivating the coaching staff, motivating an entire organization. That's what Tom Brady has done.
Today, that was yesterday. Today, Tom Brady's motivated NBA players. LeBron, Vooch. I mean, listen, I'm tired of all this. Like, Tom Brady's just amazing. Listen, Tom Brady's amazing. We get it, okay? Not everybody has to keep saying it, okay? He's such an inspiration.
Didn't you remember our inspirational quote of the day? Just one
Positivity.
small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. But once again, you're the nattering nabob of negativity.
Listen.
I agree that what Tom Brady's doing is great. But LeBron James is inspired by.
Yeah.
Why
wouldn't you be?
What do you mean? Wouldn't you be?
Because LeBron, some people consider LeBron the NBA GOAT. Well, LeBron's looking
First of all, it's Tom Brady who is inspired by LeBron because everybody said, "Hey, listen, you can only do it in the East, you can only do it in the AFC." Then LeBron went to the West, won a title in the West when people said he couldn't do it, and Tom Brady said, "Hey, look, if LeBron can switch leagues, so can I. I can go to the NFC and do it." That's Tom Brady should be talking about how he's inspired by LeBron James is what should be said today.
There's no way the Packers would do anything to jeopardize losing Aaron. Unless Aaron just chooses to retire, which I would be shocked. The guy's playing better now than he's ever played. Without him, you certainly wouldn't have been even close to where you were yesterday.
The rumor mill is churning away, making the flower of possibilities of a Green Bay Packer team without Aaron Rodgers. But Brett Favre, the great Green Bay Packer, we're going to ignore the times where he was a Jet and a Viking. He talked about how, listen, the Packers are not going to do anything to upset Aaron Rodgers. They need him and they want him to stay. And he says the only way Aaron Rodgers is leaving is if he retires. Do you buy that, Mike?
Play the first part of that clip one more time.
There's no way the Packers would do anything
to jeopardize stop it right there. Stop it. Yeah, they have. They've already done that. Matt LaFleur chose to kick a field goal on 4th and goal from the 8-yard line. So, yeah, he's already done something to make Aaron Rodgers want to retire. He took the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands at the most critical moment of the game on Sunday, and Aaron Rodgers obviously wasn't happy about it. But is Aaron Rodgers going to retire? No. Hell, the guy's going to win the MVP this year. He threw for 48 touchdowns, had one of his best years. So, no, he's not going to retire. But I mean, when you look at what the Packers have done by putting weapons around him, drafting a quarterback in the first round last year, I mean, that certainly doesn't make Aaron Rodgers feel any better about the Packers trying to win championships.
Sound off. That's the sound off for today, which means, oh, hell yeah, you've heard this voice twice now because it's time to give away some Orlando Magic tickets. A pair of tickets to see the Orlando Magic play the Sacramento Kings Wednesday, January 27th, 7 p.m. at the Amway Center. Don't forget, you can tune into the Orlando Magic games on 96.9 The Game or 104.5 The Beat. Give us a call, 407-916-8255 for your chance at those tickets. Mike, take it away.
So I'm reading Austin's blog. You can go to 969thegame.com.
Cheap plug.
Read Austin's blog, and the headline is "Get Ready." I don't know why he has a period in the headline. You're not supposed to put periods in headlines.
I'm emphasizing get ready.
Get ready. UCF sports are heading downhill. All right. And then he goes on to say, it was a wild and crazy ride, but now it is all coming to a halt. UCF became the UCF become the Okay, you've got typo. You need to let me proofread your blogs.
I'm sorry. I write these at approximately 4:30 in the morning before any caffeine hits.
Well, okay.
You want me to take this segment? I'll take the segment off and edit it.
Yeah, UCF became the national darling from the group of five. They were the spunky upstarts who were taking on the big guys in football and even were making strides in basketball. Then they lost a couple of games. Their basketball team didn't keep the momentum going. Here's the part that gets me. In all of sports, athletes talk about peaking at the right time. You want to be at top performance when it counts, but on the other side of the peak is a fall. That's where UCF is right now. The tumbling downward to forgetfulness. The stumble to Boise State oblivion. What does that mean?
Well, when you think about Boise State, you think about the Statue of Liberty play that won them the Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma. You think about a team that went undefeated but didn't get the respect they deserved. But then what happened? They became a favorite, and now no one really thinks about Boise State. And that's where UCF is headed. A good team, but one that's forgetful.
So you're saying, well, yeah, if your scale of where UCF athletics is the 25 game unbeaten streak where they go back to back unbeaten for 2 straight seasons. Well, yeah, they're not that, but that was unrealistic. I mean,
that was the peak.
Mike, but this is the world of college sports where at Auburn, they win a national championship with a generational talent in Cam Newton, and then 8 to 9 wins a year isn't enough for them. They get unrealistic too. That is what we are in college sports. Once you push the bar up to a certain point, fans will not allow you to bring it back down. Do not allow you to bring it back down. I mean, I feel bad for the next coach at Alabama, unless it's going to be Dabo Swinney, unless he's going to come on home to Alabama and then kind of continue the run. Because that poor guy has no chance. Remember when Ron Zook took over for Steve Spurrier at Florida? Yeah. How difficult a job that was for him because Spurrier had set the bar so damn high. I mean, Spurrier walked into a great place. I mean, no SEC titles. They had probation before that. I mean, that guy had no pressure to win in Florida. Ron Zook, on the other hand, does because once you raise the bar of the expectation level of the fans don't go, hey guys, listen. We're UCF. We should just be happy with 7 to 8 wins. Let's go to a decent bowl game every year. Let's enjoy. We got a great bounce house. That's a lot of fun. I mean, look, no, they want to win all these games, and unfortunately, I think what Austin is saying is those days are gone. You're going to be like Boise State. Boise State at one point was that media.
Boise State now. Boise State's still good.
Right. You're right.
They were 12-2 last year, Boise State. They were 10-3 before that, 11-3 before that, 10-3, 12-2. I mean, good Lord.
What was UCF this year? What was their record?
6-4.
6-4. Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, but 6-4 this year.
But here's the deal: we're never getting back to that peak. So for the president to say we're on an upward trend, we can be even stronger. No, we can't. No,
yeah,
we
they can.
Mike, how important is this football season to the perception?
Very important.
Yeah.
It's very important for Josh Heupel.
Yep.
I mean, Josh Heupel, yeah. I mean, 2 years ago, 10-3. That was considered a down year. This year, 6-4. And again, It's a pandemic ravaged year. We know what happened with all the opt-outs and the players getting kicked off the team mid-season. They had a bunch of defensive starters missing. We realize that, but still, as Bill Parcells once said, you are what your record says you are. All right, they were 6-4 this year. The guy who hired him, Danny White, is now gone. All right, they're going to have a new AD, and what do new ADs like to do? They like to hire their own guys, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is a big year for Josh Heupel, no question about it. I don't think anybody would deny that. Josh Heupel knows that this is a big year for him. Plus, he's got one of the top returning quarterbacks in the country coming back. Yeah, UCF needs to get back to winning a bunch of games, and I'm not saying they have to win them all, like Austin seems to think in his blog that if they're not unbeaten, then they're going downhill. I don't think that at all. I think UCF's athletic department is going to hire somebody really good, and they'll keep trucking along. Not unbeaten every year, but that's just unrealistic.
9-3 next year, which is an improvement over 6-4. Good year, bad year, or does it matter? Matter who your losses are to?
I'm going to quote Mark Daniels: "The journey matters. The journey." Yeah. Yeah.
I want winners.
I want winners, Mike.
Then why are you still on Scott Frost bandwagon?
Hey, listen, winners, huh? He's a proven winner. He's coming back. He's rebuilding a program.
Okay. Maybe Scott Frost was a product of Danny White. How about that?
If that's the case, guess what? UCF is going downhill then.
They're not going downhill. UCF is, as far as group of 5 programs, UCF has more resources, better facilities. They invest more money. Again, Mark Daniels will know this. I'll guarantee you, UCF is at the very top when it comes to athletic budgets for a group of 5 programs. Maybe BYU because they're considered somewhat of a national program. But I can't think of anybody other than BYU that invests more money in their athletic program. If Josh Heupel is indeed a really good football coach, and I think he is, and I think he'll get him back, that's all that matters. If you have a great football program, your athletic program is going to be fine. In fact, we have a poll about that. What's more important, a great football coach or a great athletic director? Who thinks a great athletic director is more important to an athletic program than a great football coach? Does anybody think that?
No, I think if you get the right football coach there and your football program wins, that sort of sets the table for everything else financially. I think with attention, with excitement from your fan base, which then translates into checks written to your boosters. I think football coach, because Austin and I were joking before the show talking about athletic director, and go, dude, how many college football fans even have any idea who their athletic director is? And I asked him, I said, dude, do you know who the athletic director is at Nebraska?
I did.
Well,
Bill Moose.
Okay.
Oh, it is Bill Moose.
Oh, of course it is.
Of course it
Mike
is.
just said so.
You didn't know?
Off the top of my head, no, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I know who because the athletic director...
He could name every football coach over the last 45 years.
Absolutely, I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I knew is because that's the guy who hired Scott Frost, and he, had a clandestine meeting with Scott Frost during the season, which Mark Daniels still isn't over, by the way. All right, straight ahead, Adam Shadoff's going to join us to tackle all the hot topics of the day. The Shadoff Shout-Off. I can't even say it. The Shadoff Shout-Out coming your way next.
Open mic.
time to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Oh, time for open mic.
Welcome back to Open Mic. I'm Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel, joined as always by Adam Reardon, the deceptive intellect, and Austin Pastolka, the Sultan of Sound. Together we are Open Mic, the troika of sports talk radio excellence in the megalopolis we know as Central Florida. We appreciate you joining us. There's many ways to get in touch with us. You can call us 407-916-8255. You can tweet us at 96.9 The Game or at The Game Jacks. You can also, you can tweet us at 96.9 The Game.
There you go.
All right? Yeah. You can also text us on our Academy Sports and Outdoors text line. That's 50857. You can listen to us on FM radio, FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, HD 101.1-2. You can watch us and listen to us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, look for the Open Mic live stream, and you'll see our beautiful mugs right up there talking sports with you. You can also find us on the Twitter machine and on the Twitch machine if you choose to do that. We are not yet on the, what was the other one we were talking about this morning?
Clubhouse.
We're not on the Clubhouse machine.
We are individually,
Yes.
but not as a program.
Not as a unit.
We are not on the Clubhouse machine. Does Clubhouse, by the way, do they have stock? Because you guys sound like Clubhouse is going to be big someday.
I don't know.
They're beta testing it, so I'm assuming that
So what
it's a different company that has the app. Yeah, it's a great question.
Looking it up.
You know,
right
I
now.
bought. You know what stock I bought the other day?
I bought one yesterday.
I
by
made
the
a little
way.
cash on Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
made dozens of dollars.
I bought a stock yesterday that in one day went up 41%.
Was it GameStop?
No, GameStop went up like 150%, and then it dropped down.
Yeah.
And like lost money, and then it got back up, I believe, over what it was. Yeah, I bought a stock yesterday. It went up 41%.
Did you sell it?
No, because the analyst that I read said that you should still have
hang
it.
on to it.
What stock is that?
I'd have to hold on. I think it's a pharmaceutical stock, but
Ooh, interesting. Pharmaceutical company.
no, therapeutic stock.
Ah.
I have pharmaceutical and therapeutic in my portfolio.
Sounds like he's got a little inside information to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
What it sounds like to me.
VYNE. It was up 40.3% yesterday. Vine Therapeutics.
The analyst he listens to, his fiance.
I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait to build my portfolio up enough where I can afford some of the stock in her company.
Anyway, we have Lord Commander Charles on line one. Lord Commander Charles, how are you this morning?
I'm good, man. Everything you guys are saying about UCF is all true, and there's like a lot of little things about it, but there's one thing that I didn't hear that kind of people leave out, and that is UCF's success isn't necessarily just Scott Frost or the athletic director. It was Mackenzie Milton. That guy right there, I mean, of course we had a great defense, but you've seen what's happened since he hasn't been in there. He added that component of being able to run and to pass and the heart and the drive of the team that held them together for that undefeated season. And that was basically keeping them together during that season that he unfortunately had that horrible injury by our rival school. So I think once we lost him, and don't get me wrong, Dylan Gabriel is a great quarterback, and it's weird to say that being a two-dimensional team is a negative, but for what we have to do, UCF has to do twice or three times as much as a normal Power 5 program to get the same kind of respect. So, by Dylan Gabriel being a great passer, but not being very mobile himself, Mackenzie Milton, would tuck it and run it, and that, I think, is what kept defenses on their heels. But I just wanted to kind of throw his name out there because when you talk about this coach should be fired and that coach should be fired, it's not their fault they can't find another Mackenzie Milton. They don't exist. People like that don't exist.
Well, appreciate the call, Lord Commander Charles. Yeah, I meant Dylan Gabriel. Good Lord, he was only second in the nation in passing this past season. I mean, come on now. Dylan Gabriel is a really good quarterback. Is he as good a runner as Mackenzie Milton? No. And I love Mackenzie Milton, believe me, but he's a better passer than Mackenzie Milton. Look at the passing numbers he's put up compared to Mackenzie Milton's passing numbers. Dylan Gabriel, much better passer, throws the deep ball better than Mackenzie Milton does. So, Mackenzie Milton, yes, he's a cult figure hero among UCF fans. But guess what? You want to know why that was? Because he went 12-0. All right. If Dylan Gabriel goes 12-0 this year, you know what he's going to be? He's going to be a cult figure hero, the UCF fans. So, but again, going 12-0 that's hard to do. I don't care if you're in the American Athletic Conference, the Sun Belt, whatever league you're in. It's hard to go 12-0. Austin, we were talking about Austin's blog where he talks about Boise State being in oblivion right now. I don't think Boise State's in oblivion. Then are they the Boise State of who was the coach? Chris
Peterson.
Yeah. Are they the Boise State of Chris Peterson? No, but they went 12-2 a year ago.
It's a good season.
Jared Zabransky ain't walking through that door.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, give us a call, 407-916-8255. How about the Orlando Magic getting it done last night? Give me some sound.
3 again for Anthony. Good again. He's feeling it, the youngster. Cole Anthony now a 20-point game. Vucevic with the left-handed hook. Soft touch. Vooch rattles it in.
Great way to beat pressure. Just get the ball in the middle of the floor to a playmaker.
Got to finish it out, however, tonight. Fournier tries to add another. He drills it deep. Corner 3. Evan Fournier.
Yeah, certainly. Unbelievable what you're doing, Vooch. Keep up the great work, and congrats on the win today.
Thank you. Well, last night wasn't so bad for you because, your guy went to the Super Bowl.
We're going back to the Super Bowl, baby. How about Tom Brady and the Bucs?
Yeah, he did have 3 interceptions, but no, I'm kidding. No, but I mean, it's amazing to see that, at that age, still, be able to win and get to the Super Bowl. Just change the team all around with his approach and everything. It's just amazing to see, and you have to respect, that kind of work and that kind of dedication. It's amazing to see, and it's very rare in any sport, to play at that age, especially a sport like football, and he's been able to do it. So it's amazing to see. That's why I'm such a big fan of him, and somebody I think most athletes look up to.
That was Nick Vucevic talking to Dante Marchitelli on the telecast last night. Adam Reardon, how magical and motivational and inspirational is Tom Brady. Not only has he led the Bucs to the Super Bowl in his first year, he's motivating the Orlando Magic to win the game last night, 117-108. The Magic shooters are like saying, hey, if Brady can do it, we can do it. And that's exactly what they're doing. Magic shooting 47.3% from three-point range. The last 3 games, they were the worst three-point shooting team in the league prior to that. Why is it? It's all because of Tom Brady, Adam Reardon.
Well, maybe Tom Brady can take some inspiration from this Magic team who played against Charlotte earlier in the season, which was the night before. And got outscored in a quarter 20-6 at one point, or 20-4. Remember the Buccaneers' first quarter against the Chiefs earlier this year was a really bad first quarter for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get a chance to play them again. And then what happens? The Magic shore things up. They get some plays down the stretch.
Yeah.
Maybe the Magic can return the favor to Tom Brady and inspire him.
Dwayne Bacon is going to inspire.
That's it.
Dwayne Bacon will inspire Tom Brady.
I do have a question for Dante Marchitelli, if anybody has a chance. So is he
No, he's a Patriots fan. He doesn't get credit for Brady.
Okay, because he says in that, yeah, we're going back to the Super Bowl. Like he's in Tom Brady's pocket. You can't ever say that. Like, hey, we. What do you get, a mouse in your pocket? What is Dante Marcatelli and Tom Brady? We are going back to the Super Bowl. You and Tom Brady, your package deal to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're gonna have Jake Chapman on, Magic Radio Guru, at 8:15 this morning for the Magic Word segment. Get that clip ready for Jake Chapman, because I want him to blow Dante Marcatelli out of the water for taking credit for Tom Brady when his team allowed Tom Brady to leave. All right? All right, let's pause for station identification.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Facebook.com/969 The Game.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
It's TV time on Open Mic.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Let's hear from Fox 35's own Adam Shadoff.
Adam Shadoff delivers the news on the Fox 35 Sports Zone every weeknight, 11:30 p.m. Takes a deep dive into all the sports happenings in all of Central Florida. Also on the weekends as well. Sunday, I think is it 10:30 on Sunday?
10:50.
10:50 on Sunday. All right, Adam Shadoff, obviously you've been following the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First of all, you're covering the Super Bowl. You told us that last week. How much different is it going to be covering the Super Bowl this year? What are they doing differently as far as interviews and things like that? There's no media day this year, right?
Yeah, it's weird. I went last year, obviously, down in Miami, and I went to practice every day. I just kind of alternated going to Chiefs and 49ers. And then you talk to players every day. They have basically availabilities with the team every single day, and then they have the big media day. This year, the teams aren't even getting there until, Wednesday, right, or Thursday? I think, and they're going to do just all virtual availabilities and then just send you video of practice. And I don't know how they're going to. I mean, normally you go to Radio Row and there's just celebrities milling around all over the place, and you can just grab people and talk to them and interview them. I don't know if any of that's going to happen. It's going to be totally different this year.
So are the interviews all Zoom calls this year?
I think the player interviews are all on Zoom this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So
which is a problem, because yesterday I emailed the Chiefs to talk to them and see if I could try to get Tommy Townsend. He went to Boone High School.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Gator. It's a big deal to have an Orlando kid in the game. And they said no this week, and they would probably have him available via Zoom next week. Well, that's good. But maybe, I'll try to get him next week on the Zoom. But I may not be able to get in there and ask him a question where I could, in person, they have them sitting around these tables in their normal Super Bowl weeks, where I could just jump in and ask him a couple of Orlando questions. And in a Zoom, I might not be able to do that.
Adam,
so it's
Adam.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you in on a little something, okay?
Okay.
I think you're gonna be able to get in a question for the punter. All right.
I don't know, Bianchi. There's people everywhere at these things. So.
Not many people usually are at the punting table, even when you're at the Super Bowl. All right.
That's probably fair. Hope you're right. It's kind of a bummer. I'm gonna miss out on content I would have normally been able to get.
I understand. I understand completely. All right, Adam Shadoff, you ready? Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Shout it out from the rooftop. Woo-hoo! It's time for the Shadoff Shoutout.
Here we go with the Shadoff Shoutout, brought to you by Frank Gay Services. When you have a plumbing or electrical problem and you need help now, go to frankgayservices.com. We start off with the Open Mic Thought-Provoking Daily Poll. Do you agree with what UCF President Alexander Cartwright told Bianchi, that the school's athletic program can get better even though Danny White is gone? Yes or no? Mike?
Well, yeah, I believe it. I mean, he brought up a good point. He was at Buffalo when Danny White was there. He was at Buffalo a long time, and Danny White leaves Buffalo. And guess what? The Buffalo athletic program, the Buffalo football program, even better now. They finished unbeaten this past season. The basketball team has been to the NCAA tournament the last 2 years. Yes, Danny White is a big loss, all right? I understand that, but he's the AD. If UCF gets back to winning a bunch of football games, their athletic program will thrive because they invest in their athletic program more than probably any other Group of 5 program out there. ADs, yes, they're important, but sometimes I think ADs are overrated.
Yeah, I think he's right also. I just think it's going to be very difficult to find someone that will be kind of as much of an innovator, an innovative thinker, an outside-the-box thinker as Danny White, which is kind of what you need to have when you're at a school in a position like UCF. So, I mean, of course, they can continue to be successful and even get better, but it will be difficult to find someone to lead them the way that Danny White did.
With 61% of the vote, yes, they agree with the UCF president. Supplemental poll number 1. We kind of touched on this one in the first poll. Who is more important to an athletic program success, a great football coach or a great athletic director? Adam.
Oh, well, I mean, it's the overall athletic program success. It's got to be an athletic director. That's the person that hires the head football coach. That's the person that does all the fundraising that determines whether or not the football coach has the facilities that he wants and all of that. When it's the image, I mean, if we're talking about the image of the athletic program, it's probably the football coach. But who's more important to the success overall? It's the athletic director.
Oh, I totally disagree with that. In fact, I'll go all the way back to 1990 when Steve Spurrier came to the University of Florida. That's when the Florida athletic program really took off. Why was that? Because it wasn't the athletic director raising the funds. It was Steve Spurrier winning football games, building excitement, building getting boosters to want to contribute to the athletic program. And what happened? Jeremy Foley happened to be the athletic director, and he goes on to become one of the great athletic directors in college history. Not because he was a great athletic director, but Steve Spurrier was the reason that athletic program took off at the University of Florida. And you know what? Danny White was important because he hired Scott Frost, he hired Josh Heupel, but because those guys built the football program and went unbeaten for 2 straight years, that's why the UCF athletic program took off.
With 62% of the vote, the football coach is more important. Supplemental poll number 2. If Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Bucs, should he drop the mic on his stellar career and retire? Yes or no? Mike.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it would be the perfect time, obviously, but Tom Brady loves playing football. It's fun. Why would he retire when he's doing something he loves to do? He's still at the top of his game. He was 3rd in the league in passing this year. The Bucs, when you look at their roster, they're not going anywhere. They have a relatively young roster. They're in pretty good cap situation. Brady, again, is at the top of his game. No, he could come back next year and win another one. That'd make 8.
I'll just take, I can see either argument here, but for argument's sake, I'll take the other route. Yeah, he should retire. He's 43 years old. The risk of injury is enormously high. And what better way to prove that it was you and not Bill Belichick that was more important in winning all those Super Bowls up there? And you go out. How many athletes go out on top moments after they've gone out, winning the pinnacle of their career? Very, very few. So he could go out on top, proving he's the greatest of all time, proving it was him and not his coach up in New England, not risking any more injury, and he's got tons of cash and a supermodel wife. Not bad.
With 57% of the vote, yes, he should drop the mic and peace out, retire.
You know what? I'm changing my vote. I'm with Adam. Adam convinced me. All right, I've changed my vote. Yes.
Well, there you go. We got to buzz through these last couple ones because we're running up against the clock. Supplemental poll number 3. Are you more excited or less excited about this year's Super Bowl matchup than in past years? More excited or less excited? We'll start with Adam.
More. I mean, this is potentially one of the great quarterbacks ever going up against the greatest ever, a super high-scoring team, and it's the local team here. And when do we ever get a chance to see the team playing in their home stadium? Never. It's never happened before, and it's the Bucs who we cover like crazy. For me, this is huge. I like it.
I can't remember being this excited about a Super Bowl. As Adam just mentioned, you've got the GOAT, the greatest of all time, versus what Adam Reardon calls the GOT, the greatest of these times. I mean, this is going to be an unbelievable matchup with the quarterbacks. No, you could not be more excited about a Super Bowl than this one.
76% of the vote says more excited. Supplemental poll number 4, were the Miami Heat a one-hit wonder inside the Disney bubble last season? Yes or no? Mike?
Absolutely they were. They're showing it right now. They're 13th in the Eastern Conference. They're 6-10. All of those players last year, including Jimmy Buckets, had career years last year. That was a fluke. In fact, I said this earlier, and I'll say it again. If the Orlando Magic had been as healthy as the Heat were during the bubble last year, the Magic may have been in the finals if they'd have had Jonathan Isaac and Aaron Gordon and all those other players last year. Hell, they beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the first game last year until Jonathan Isaac went down. You heard me?
Man, you guys need to take your bottle away from Mike.
What? You heard me?
That's unbelievable talk right there. No.
All right.
But he's right about that. They were kind of a fluke. Everyone played as good as they possibly could through a crazy playoff run, but they shouldn't be this bad. They should be much better than this, but they shouldn't be this bad. But yeah, it was a fluke run last year.
With 78% of the vote, yes, they were a one-hit wonder. And finally,
when healthy, give me the Magic's roster over the Heat's roster.
Sure. Okay. All right. You can have them. And finally, the open mic would you rather poll. Would you rather have loved and lost or never loved at all? We'll start with Mike.
Love. Does that mean you get dumped by loved and lost?
I think it is Shakespeare.
So loved and lost means she dumped you?
Yes. You are the loser.
I don't like to be the loser. I would rather never have loved at all.
Oh.
No. Never have loved at all.
That's sad, Bianchi. I'm going to go with I would rather have loved and lost because I do love chicken nuggets, and I even though I could never have them again, I like to have experienced them at one point. So yeah, loved and lost.
75% of the vote says loved and lost for this one. That's too good, man.
Adam Shadoff, we will catch you on the Fox 35 Sports Zone. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right, guys. See ya.
Straight ahead, it's the magic word. The great Jake Chapman will join us, and we'll ask him, when did the Magic become the Splash Brothers? That's next on Open Mic.
I wish I could play professional basketball.
Then I'll just say the magic words.
Ho, 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 ho. Every Tuesday, we do a little magic segment. We call it the Magic Word with a different insider with the Orlando Magic. This week, it's the great Jake Chapman, Orlando Magic radio guru, co-host of Magic Drive Time right here on FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740 every afternoon. By the way, you can find him on Twitter at Jake Chapman, OM, as in Jake, at Jake Chapman, Orlando Magic. Jake, how are you this morning?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
We're doing good, Jake. We want to start off with a clip from your colleague on the Magic broadcast team, Dante Marchitelli, last night after the Magic won. He's talking to Nick Vucevic after the game. I want you to listen to this.
Yeah, certainly. Unbelievable what you're doing, Vooch. Keep up the great work, and congrats on the win today.
Thank you. Well, last night wasn't so bad for you because, your guy went to the Super Bowl.
We're going back to the Super Bowl, baby. How about Tom Brady and the Bucs?
All right, stop it right there. Stop it right there. The Bucs are now for Dante Marchitelli?
Mike, the transformation has been, as somebody from Cleveland, who has lived and died with the Cleveland Browns my entire life, to watch him just seamlessly float between his fan allegiances. I appreciate why, he's negative towards Belichick and towards that organization still because they let Brady walk. He's not like he just went with Brady. The way it went down, I think, plays in. But to just slip that "we" in there on quote unquote national television, I mean, give the guy credit. He is he knows how to pick a winner. I'll say that.
Man, that was Jerry O'Neal like the way he's switching teams so quickly. All right, Jake, what's gotten into the Magic shooting the last 3 games? They're shooting, 47.3% from three-point range the last 3 games. They had been the worst three-point shooting team in the league. Is it just a matter of Evan Fournier getting back? What's going on?
Well, it's a big difference, Mike. I mean, he's been back now for 4 games. He's shooting over 8 threes a game, and he's knocking them down at a 42.5% clip. So that makes a big difference. And then getting him back, I think, had a ripple effect across the rest of the roster. Like Cole Anthony all of a sudden looks a lot more comfortable in his point guard role, and he doesn't have as much pressure on him. Aaron Gordon, as a secondary or tertiary playmaker, doesn't have as much pressure on him. So Evan is such a good offensive player, and that was such a struggle after Markelle went down and before you got Evan back. That I think you're just seeing it sort of affect the rest of the team. You think about those possessions where there's 10 seconds on the shot clock, just run a quick little 2-man game with Evan and Nikola Vucevic. They're so comfortable with each other. I just think getting Evan back, not only does it help with him knocking down 3-pointers on his own, but it just eases the burden on everybody else offensively. And then the other part of it is I think you can look into the fact that, 3 of the last 4 games they played Minnesota, Indiana, and Charlotte twice, and Charlotte's not the best defensive team. So knocking down threes against that type of competition is take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. But as long as they move the ball and get good shots, the shots will eventually fall. It's just been an issue so far this year, and I think it largely has to do with the injuries.
Did you just say Aaron Gordon is a tertiary playmaker? Good word.
I thought you might like that.
Good word. That is all. Talk about
tertiary, right?
Yeah, talk about Aaron Gordon. I mean, it's sort of a new role for him this year. How's he doing in that new role?
It's a work in progress still. I think if you look at the assist numbers and if you just look at the raw numbers, you say he's doing pretty good, but he's got to get his turnovers down. It's weird to think about him at age 25 as a 7-year veteran, but he is, and so there's different aspects of his game that I think have always been underappreciated. He's got really good vision, and he's a really good passer, and he's able to create for his teammates off the bounce, kind of getting into the lane and breaking defenses down, and then also with his back to the basket out of the post when double teams come. But with all that said, it's not something he's ever been asked to do. So you kind of have to understand that there's going to be a bit of a learning curve, and Cliff has been really trying to work through that with different rotations and different lineup groupings, which has been difficult also because of the injuries. So you've seen, like, the last 4 or 5 games now, you've seen Ken Birch, the first guy off the bench, and he's checking in for Aaron. The idea being that you're going to bring Aaron in with the bench bunch, and sort of rather than, have the offense run through Jordan Bone or somebody who's still trying to catch up a little bit, you get Aaron on the floor and you operate that way. Bringing the ball up is one thing. That's kind of a cheap way to look at who's running point guard. Truly running the offense through somebody is a whole other step. And with Aaron, Aaron's not going to take the ball at the top of the key and run pick and roll. That's not his game. He doesn't have the handles to do that. But there is a way, and you think back to guys like Pippen and, Lamar Odom, playing point forward. There's a way to run an offense through a guy like that. A lot of times it's a big adjustment. It's not typically what everybody else on the team does. You have to run special sets in order to get that to work. But I think the results have been pretty good, all things considered. I'm not sure anybody expected him to be able to do that headed into this year. So, for an experiment that's only lasted about 10 games, it hasn't been that bad.
Magic insider Jake Chapman right here on Open Mic. Jake, obviously Cole Anthony last night had a career-high 21 points. He wasn't expected to be a starting point guard this year. What have you seen from his development?
Well, it's coming. I mean, I think the last couple of games, since Evans come back, you really see the possibilities there. And for him, and he said this, and I think it was evident last night, like when the jumper starts falling, and it's going to, it's just going to open everything up for him. And he's such a gym rat, he's such a junkie, and he wants it so bad that I think the first couple of games he was pressing a little bit. And like you said, nobody expected him to be thrust into this role this quickly. It's somewhat unfair because they haven't had a summer league. They had a shortened preseason, shortened training camp. Everything was sort of rushed. And then the injury happens. He was supposed to cut his teeth this year and maybe next and even beyond against other teams' second units and bench guys. And so not only is he playing 30 minutes a night, and not only is he expected to run a team, he's doing so against starters, against stiffer competition, way sooner than anybody planned on it for him. So he'll get there, and it's coming. But once he starts knocking down that perimeter jumper, look out. And last night he went 4 or 5 from three-pointer. That's, to me, the big development. But, I do think that win over Minnesota, the game winner last week, stuff like that for a 20-year-old, that goes a really long way. And, when you have guys like Nikola Vucevic next to you and getting Evan back and Terrence Ross, you've got some guys you can rely on offensively. He just needs to stay within his own game and trust that other guys are going to make him look good, and he'll get positive results.
Jake, one of our many poll questions today is this: were the Miami Heat a one-hit wonder inside the Disney bubble last season?
Ooh, that's a good question. I didn't think they were going to be able to replicate that success or to make that deeper run this year, because I do think it was uniquely suited to that team, that group, and I think the rest of the Eastern Conference had their own issues in different ways. I also don't think we're seeing the best of them right now, and I think some of that could be the residual effect from the bubble. Not everybody is LeBron James. Nobody is LeBron James. I mean, what he's doing right now after that run in the bubble is absolutely unparalleled. I mean, what he did last night was unparalleled. He got mad last night. Did you see this bit about LeBron? He got mad because a member of the Cavs front office laughed too loudly when he missed a jumper, so he went out and outscored the team in the fourth quarter. That's LeBron, and nobody else does that, right? So I think Miami's slow start I think it's part that. I think that's a beat-up team. They've got guys kind of in and out. But with all that said, I'm not sure like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson are consistently as good as they played in the bubble. I mean, they played lights out. So I think there was a little bit of an overreach there, but I think now you're starting to see that impact. I think they'll be a playoff team and back above 500 within a couple weeks, but it's been a rough start for sure, and I'm not really too worried about them having a rough start. I kind of enjoy watching them suffer. I got to be honest.
We all do. All right, last one. We have about 30 seconds. We all know that you're a big Cleveland Browns fan. You're an Ohio State Buckeye. How do you think your boy Urban Meyer will do as coach of the Jaguars?
Well, I feel like a lot of the arguments against him are personal arguments. I hear a lot of people, Gator fans and even Buckeye fans who we view him a lot more positively than Gator fans do. But a lot of people just think he is just suited for college, and I think that's an old argument. That guy is a master motivator, a master CEO. He's going to get the right people around him. I already like some of the hires he's made. I think he'll do just fine. I think really it comes down to if they draft Trevor Lawrence, and I'm sure they will, how good is Trevor Lawrence? Can you develop him? Can he be good within 2 or 3 years? And then also, what does this burnout factor do to him? Because it's a little bit different when you're trying to manage, professional athletes who are making just as much, if not more money than you are. I think there could be some personality clashes there, but, man, I would never bet against Urban Meyer, and I would not advise anybody else to.
I would not as well. Jake Chapman, we appreciate you joining us this morning for the Magic Word. We will talk to you soon, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Jake Chapman, he's good. He's good on the radio. No wonder he's the radio guru of the Orlando Magic. All right, straight ahead, Mark Daniels and The Bridge coming your way on Open Mic.